Welcome to Gaia's Calling, where stories ignite your spirit and the earth whispers her secrets. I'm Brad Swift, a write-on-purpose author of eco-fiction and nonfiction, inviting you to become an eco-guardian. Together, let's explore the wonders of our world and take action to protect them. Listen closely. Gaia is calling. And today, Gaia is calling for me to re-examine education and community and the need for small-scale experiential education models. So let's dig in. Our current educational model, it isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Prepare children to succeed in a world built on the Four Great Untruths. But what if that's the problem? So, why does educational, at least traditional education, need to evolve? Let's start with a hard truth. The dominant model of education is not preparing young people for the world they're inheriting. It was never designed to. Rooted in the industrial era and shaped by the great untruths, all four of them, today's schools often serve as pipelines, not to purpose or wisdom, but to productivity, conformity, and consumerism. Oh, by the way, the great untruths, we are separate from nature. This untruth underlies much of our educational design. Students spend the majority of their time indoors, disconnected from the natural world. It reinforces the illusion that humans are observers of nature, not participants in it. And then there's the more is always better untruth. The relentless pursuit of grades, test scores, and academic accolades fosters a scarcity mindset and undermines intrinsic motivation, creativity, and well-being. Students become driven to outperform rather than collaborate and create. And how about the earth resources are infinite great untruth? Most schools fail to teach ecological literacy, how systems like water and energy and biodiversity actually function. Without understanding planetary boundaries, students grow up unaware of the ecological crisis unfolding around them. And then the last great untruth, that technology will save us. Now, granted, while innovation matters, over-reliance on technological fixes discourages critical thinking and disconnects us from embodied wisdom. True resilience comes not just from knowing how to code, but from knowing how to compost, conserve, and connect. But what if we flip the script? What would it look like to educate young people from the foundation of the Four Great Truths? Let's imagine such an education system. Number one, interconnectedness. This truth teaches that everything is connected. When students learn from ecosystems, they begin to see the invisible threads linking soil to seed, breath to trees, and self to society. Compassion and systems thinking emerge naturally. And then there's sufficiency. Enough is a powerful concept. In classrooms grounded in sufficiency, the race to do more gives way to depth, presence, and joy. Students learn to work with what they have, creatively and gratefully. And how about reciprocity? Learning becomes a mutual exchange. Students are not empty vessels to be filled, but co-creators of knowledge. Service learning, peer teaching, and real-world projects model the give and take of thriving communities. And last but not least, stewardship. Purpose guides education when stewardship is the norm. Students aren't just preparing for jobs, they're preparing to be caretakers of the earth, each other, and generations to come. Education becomes not just informative, but transformative. This kind of education fosters creativity, resilience, and regenerative thinking, not just for surviving the future, but for co-creating it. So question, what has school helped you solve real-world problems, like saving the planet, for instance? And do you know a parent, teacher, or change maker who needs to read this? Help us spread the vision. Tap on the app, the share button right there. And then there's small-scale experiential education models. Yes, fortunately, this reimagining is already happening in pockets around the world, such as forest schools. Forest schools bring students outdoors in all seasons, engaging with the rhythms of the land. Children explore forests, build shelters, track animals, and learn to care for the earth through immersion and play. These schools prioritize curiosity, resilience, and hands-on engagement. And you can learn more about them at the Forest School Association. Again, there's a link in my Substack article. And how about Waldorf education? Founded by Rudolf Steiner, Waldorf education emphasizes imagination, creativity, and the integration of the arts with academics. Children learn through movement, music, handwork, and storytelling. Rooted in rhythms, relationships, and reverence, Waldorf aligns powerfully with the great truths by fostering inner development and ecological awareness. And again, there's a link in my article to explore further the Waldorf education model. And then we've got project-based learning, or PBL, which allows children to learn by doing, designing, building, questioning, and solving real-world problems. Whether it's designing a sustainable house or launching a school recycling campaign, students can take ownership of their education through inquiry and collaboration. A strong example of this is High Tech High. Again, a link in my article, which uses PBL to connect learning with life. And then, how about indigenous models of education? Many indigenous communities around the world practice educational models rooted in storytelling, ceremony, and learning from elders. These traditions honor the sacred interconnection of life and emphasize respect, reciprocity, and stewardship. Examples include the Hawaiian Aloha Ana, Love of the Land, programs, and the First Nations Land as Teacher approach. Again, you can learn more at the link I have in the article, the Indigenous Education Institute. Imagine your school with a garden, and you learned math by measuring plants and science by watching them grow. These approaches, they aren't perfect, but they offer living blueprints for what's possible when we educate with nature instead of just about it. So, what alternative models have you seen or dreamed of for educating our youth? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. How about joining this subscriber chat? Again, in the article, there's a link there. The role of communities in education. A regenerative education system can't rely on schools alone. Communities must be co-creators in the learning journey. When we begin to think education as something that happens not just within classroom walls, but across gardens and kitchens and repair shops and gathering circles, we unlock a deeper potential in our children and in ourselves. Intergenerational learning plays a vital role in this. Our elders carry wisdom forged through experience, stories of resilience, skills in growing food, repairing tools, caring for land, and navigating life without reliance on digital shortcuts. When children and teens learn alongside grandparents and mentors, they connect to a lineage of knowledge that no textbook can replicate. So what if we asked, what could our grandparents teach that our textbooks can't? Community gardens, repair cafes, local maker spaces become living classrooms. These are places where curiosity meets utility, where math is used to design a compost bin, where science is discovered in soil health, and where creativity is sparked through shared problem solving. In these environments, young people learn how to build, repair, grow, and give back, skills essential to a regenerative future. Emotional resilience, too, is cultivated in community. It comes from knowing you belong, from feeling rooted in a village that celebrates your gifts and supports your struggles. When children grow up surrounded by caring adults, authentic connection, and a shared commitment to the well-being of all, they are better prepared to face uncertainty with courage and compassion. Together, communities can become ecosystems of learning, where wisdom is shared, creativity is celebrated, and the next generation is raised not just to survive, but to thrive. Ecological literacy as a core skill. As climate disruption accelerates, and it is, ecological literacy isn't a luxury, it's a survival skill. Understanding natural systems, water cycles, soil health, biodiversity, and practicing earth skills like growing food, composting, harvesting rainwater, and building planetary perspectives, seeing oneself as part of, not apart from, the web of life. Well, I tell you, I'm learning so much from our loving homestead experiment, both what's working and what needs work. I've learned that at 76, I don't have the same energy and endurance that I had at 43 when we first moved to the North Carolina mountains. And at the same time, I'm so thankful for the health and vitality I do enjoy. I'm discovering creating a food forest feeds my soul as much as it will eventually feed my body. And I've included a few photos of our emerging food forest. So here's an invitation to share. As I continue to grow my own emerging food forest, I'll be sharing photos in this space. And I'd love to see how you are living as an eco-guardian in your corner of the world. Whether it's a community garden, a home compost system, or simply a moment of quiet connection with nature, snap a photo and share it in a Substack note. Tag it with hashtag EcoGuardian so we can find and celebrate each other's work. Here's how to do it. Go to your Substack dashboard, click on Notes, start a new note, upload your image, and add a caption or a comment along with tagging it with EcoGuardians so we can all see and amplify each other's acts of care. Or, hey, if that's too much of a techie challenge, no problem. Send me an email with the image or images attached and send it to brad@wbradfordswift.com. Let's build this movement one inspired image at a time. And you can help us grow our visual library of regeneration. Share this post and tag a fellow eco-guardian who might contribute a picture as well. So, fostering creativity and collaboration. From climate change to collapsing ecosystems, today's problems won't be solved by memorizing answers. They'll be solved by imagining better questions. So, encourage unstructured exploration. Mud kitchens, backyard bug hunts, painting with natural dyes are hours of fort building in the woods. Unstructured time builds imagination. Celebrate collaborative learning. Youth-led climate clubs, community art projects are team challenges that require group problem solving and cooperation. Or integrate arts and sciences, myths and math, logic and love. Combine storytelling with science experiments, or use theater to explore ecological themes. Let learning engage the whole child, no matter what age that child is. So, reflection and inspiration. What do you wish school had taught you about nature? What would it look like for your community to become a learning ecosystem? What's one small step you could take to begin reimagining education right there where you live? Remember, education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. That's a quote from John Dewey. Let's raise a generation not just ready for the world, but ready to remake it. So are you ready to be a part of reimagining education and community? Subscribe to follow this journey and share this if it moved you. And again, there are buttons to subscribe and buttons to share. Let's share 1,000 conversations, as well as school gardens, from here.